Yo, what up guys? Leon Mooky here, and today is a special day that I have now reached 5,000 subscribers. So, today's What If special is, what if Izuku was the son of Delsin Rowe from infamous Second Son? And some of you may want to know on how would this work for some of you who have played infamous Second Son due to Conduit's being existing in My Hero Academia. Well, I'm going to change a little bit things around to make it work in the universe of MHA after all. So, with all that said, let's get into this. Now, to explain how I'm going to change how conduits are. Instead of people who are able to manipulate matter in unique ways, in this, conduits are just people with quirks, just like everyone else in My Hero Academia. However, Delsin like how in infamous Second Son, his conduit gene allows him to absorb other conduits' abilities. Well, he still has that, but he's a late bloomer, so he doesn't really get. So his absorption ability is his quirk, just letting you guys know. Not only that, as for the DUP, like in infamous Second Son, they, instead of them being a, task force job to hunt down conduits in their world bioterrorists, instead, due to the actions of Infamous 2 back in New Moray, people who use their quirks in the US illegally without a quirk license or without being a hero will be immediately arrested by the DUP. It doesn't matter if it's on accident or if you use it to defend yourself or anything like that. If you use your quirk in the US, the DUP will arrest you immediately. And that's how it's gonna go. However, just the event of infamous Second Son still happens. Delsin and his brother Reggie go to Seattle, take down the DUP, get Augustine's abilities, meets Fetch, and also Eugene as usual, dismantle the DUP in Chicago, and also made a name for himself as a hero. And not only that, I'm also going to use Good Karma Delsin instead of Bad Karma Delsin. Don't get me wrong, I mean both Delsins are actually badass and awesome, but let's just say Good Karma Delsin would be a way much more better role model for Izuku after all. But Izuku will be facing against morally good or bad choices, just like how Delsin did in Infamous in Second Son. So yeah, that still comes around full circle, just letting you guys know. So with all that said, after Delsin finally made his promise to help his tribe and also paint the memorial for Reggie at the end, just like an end of Second Son, he soon now just travels the United States as a full-fledged hero, pro hero, helping out people, saving lives, also gaining a couple other quirks in his repertoire as well, becoming the #1 hero of the United States for the time being. And before he started heading over to other countries and doing hero work there, helping out just as he does his thing, helping out people, saving lives, all that stuff, until he goes to Japan, where he still does his thing, stops some villains, saving people's lives, all that stuff, and also making a name for himself as a hero. Not only that, also let me bring up Delsin's hero name being Falcon, actually. Since the symbol of his good karma self is that of a soaring bird, and Hawks was already taken, so yeah. If you guys have any other hero names that would be good for Delsin, then leave a comment in the below and I'll probably get to them later on. So yeah, and as Delsin just doing his usual patrols as usual, as he's on the top of a building, just looking around, seeing people walk around, going to work and all that stuff, he soon spots a girl with with green hair in a ponytail, as he couldn't help that she looked kind of cute, but realized that he doesn't have time to be flirting with girls right about now. As soon as he turns around and is about to leave, explosion happens as a couple of villains began robbing a convenience store. As they were trying to escape, Delsin soon swoops in, going, "Well, time to get to work, do my thing and everything." As soon he activates his smoke powers and shoots a concussive bomb, a highly dense smoke bomb right at all of them. As he didn't put a lot of power into it, just trying to disorient them before busting out his chain and taking them all down. As he switches to his neon powers and then basically binds them all down, saying, "If you guys wanted to get something from a convenience store, you shouldn't have robbed it, if anything, you know?" As he soon looks around saying, "Wait, am I missing one?" As soon one's saying, "Stop right there. These people are my hostages, and if you don't want any of these people being killed, then it's saying, dude, are you serious? You're gonna do the whole hostage situation thinking I'm gonna let you go and you're going to go out here scot-free? I mean, come on. I've been through this too many times to basically know where this is gonna go." As he's soon saying, "Shut up! Stop acting so freaking full of yourself. It's heroes like you that really piss me off." As saying, dude, I've been through situations like this for too long. And personally, I don't see you actually going through with this. Or even if you did, you wouldn't even have the chance to even attack them. So, how about this? You turn yourself in alongside your friends. I'll pull some strings for you for a bit. You go to prison for at least next 10 to 15 years. When you get out, you and your friends and I can go out for a beer. That sounds good for you guys? Saying, "Dude, stop joking around and let me go. Let all of us go." After hearing this, Delsin gets annoyed, saying, "Okay, guess not." As he soon just let his body go limp before disappearing, leaving nothing but a trail of neon. Before the villain could realize it, Delsin was already behind him. As he was about to fire his quirk at the civilians, he soon basically got his arm behind him, used his chain, and then slammed him to the ground before tightening him up with his smoke and then concrete as well, saying, "Seriously, dude, I was really trying to get you out here, and yet you really had to be a dumbass and not take it." As soon he's saying, "All right, everyone, nothing to fear here. Everything is now taken care of." As soon everybody couldn't help but cheer for Delsin, as he soon noticed the girl that he was actually eyeing, being Inko, as he couldn't help but wanting to flirt with her now, as saying, "So, what's your name?" As Inko began getting a little bit embarrassed after that, and saying it's Inko, was saying, "Delsin, but my hero name is Falcon. So, you free anytime?" As she begins blushing even more, saying, "You're just gonna ask me out like that? In front of everybody?" Saying, "Sorry if I'm putting you on the spot, but I noticed you from the crowd and you were actually pretty cute. Not gonna lie." As she had saying, "Sure. When I'm done with college classes, actually. I'm free." Saying, "All right. Hey, catch you later. Oh, you don't mind if I give you my number and you give me yours?" As saying, "Of course. I don't mind at all." Was soon they exchanging numbers. Then Delsin basically saying, "Got you later, Inko." As he turns into smoke and then jumps around the place before jumping from rooftop to rooftop. As saying, "I just got a hero's number." As Inko begins realizing what just happened, soon after, somebody called for her name, as it being a younger version of Mitsuki Bakugo, as soon Inko saying, "Oh, Mitsuki-san," saying, "Inko, I was so worried. What happened to you? And what happened here?" Saying, "It's a long story. I'll explain on the way back to the dorms." As Inko began explaining what just happened, that she got caught up in a villain attack before being saved by Delsin. Not only that, even plan on going on a date with Delsin in the next couple of days or so. But this, Mitsuki was actually, well, happy for her best friend, but also kind of worried for her, seeing what kind of person Delsin is, as Mitsuki says that he's the kind of hero that flirts with any girl and doesn't seem like the kind of type to be committed in any way. As soon Inko saying, "I know, but it would be a little bit fun just to getting to know him. Even if it doesn't work out, it's just good to see what kind of hero he really is, since he actually is an American hero after all." As soon Mitsuki just saying, "Alright, whatever." As Delsin and Inko go on a little dates, Delsin actually thinks that Inko is kind of different from other girls that he was flirting with and actually spent time with, even more different than Fetch, as he thinks that he could actually like Inko more than just a girl to go on a date with and then probably just hang out from time to time, if lucky, as he thinks that she may be his one or something. As they go on a couple more dates, and Delsin actually stays in Japan for a lot longer than he would in other countries, after all, as he would mostly just stay for at least a month or so, or two, and then head out. But he's been in Japan for almost 5 years, actually, before he actually tells Inko that he wants to spend his entire life with her, before asking her to marry him, as she was so surprised and actually so happy, and agreed to marry Delsin. But soon, the two of them finally marrying, and then 1 year later, having Izuku. Soon as Izuku is born, Delsin is in Izuku's life constantly. Not only that, Izuku takes up a lot of Delsin's, well, bad habits, as he takes an interest in Delsin's, well, like parkour, and also his, well, fondness of graffiti art. As sometimes when Izuku wants to spend time with Delsin, Delsin actually shows him a little bit of graffiti art style that he did back in his younger days. As soon Izuku actually enjoys doing it way much more, and also spends some of his time when he's not with Delsin actually going around Masafu City doing some graffiti art. And not in the more jokes or practical kind of way, but more as a, well, Izuku's still a hero nerd, so he actually paints memorials for his favorite heroes, mostly of Delsin actually. As for Izuku's quirk, well, he has his dad's quirk after all, of course. But it's not as powerful as Delsin's is, mostly because Delsin was collecting blast shards and absorbing them during Second Sun. Not only that, Delsin is able to absorb people emitter type quirks and transform type quirks as well, except at mutant type quirks. However, for Izuku's case, he can only absorb emitter type quirks. No transform quirks available alongside, well, mutant type quirks too. So yeah, that's the one handicap that Izuku has. Plus another one as well. He doesn't have Delsin's already quirk abilities that he gained during Second Sun, like smoke, neon, video, and, well, concrete. Instead, Izuku has to find quirks that he can use on his own and basically copy as well and absorb. As the first person that he got being his childhood friend, Bakugo. As Bakugo actually allowed this back when they were kids, when Izuku awakened his quirk, since he realized that he wasn't going to have his dad's, well, quirks that he absorbed. So Bakugo allowed this, until he began getting a lot more salty at Izuku using his quirk more often than anything. Not only that, he even began manipulating it into a way like how Delsin used his abilities too, and began seeing Izuku more as a rival instead as his best friend as the years go on. Not only that, Izuku began finding more and more people to get quirks from. Like during his first year in junior high, he got a quirk from a guy in his homeroom class that is able to manipulate metals. Like, for example, he's only able to manipulate steel, iron, titanium, and platinum. And not only that, he's able to wrap these metals around his body as well, making him somewhat of an indestructible dreadnought. Not only that, he's even able to manipulate the metal to create blades and other weapon types too. As for the second quirk, he actually dated a girl in junior high and got her wind quirk, which is called Gale, as he's able to now fly around for a short time period. But it's not. As he begins manipulating it and working with it, he begins creating that of small cyclones and becoming way much more stronger. With that, Izuku now has 3 quirks under his belt. He actually feels a lot more stronger than he's ever been in his life. He's on the same level as Delsin, of course, but he's been working at it for a pretty long time. Also, Izuku does have a melee weapon, just like his dad, as it's not a chain, unfortunately, but because last time Izuku used a chain, it didn't really end so well, with soon Delsin actually coming up with a better idea, allowing Izuku to use Systema sticks, actually, and an iron bow staff stick as well, that he can carry, that transforms into Systema sticks, actually, which Izuku actually loves and is able to manipulate his quirks even better using this. Hell, when he uses Bakugo's explosions through these sticks, he's a force of nature now. And in case you guys wanted to know, Izuku has been to the US and has met also Eugene and Fetch as well, and thinks of them as his aunt and uncle in a way. Not only that, since Delsin's been in Japan for so long, his place as the #1 hero in the US has been, well, dethroned and taken from him, actually. Which Delsin can't have that happening. So from time to time, for at least 1 year, he actually went back to the United States and began working as a hero once more, alongside Eugene and Fetch. With time going by, Izuku is now a 3rd year within junior high, as he actually applied for UA. He was also hoping that he would get a letter of recommendation, however, that's not going to happen. Mostly because he asked Delsin, his dad, if he could give him the recommendation. Delsin basically saying, "So, you want a letter of recommendation for UA?" With Izuku saying, "Yeah, you think you could? Not a chance in hell, little man." It's saying, "Wait, what? Why?" With saying, "You think I'm just going to give you a handout, Izuku? Not a chance. I mean, I would love to, but I can't spoil you. You gotta figure this out on your own." Before hanging up, he soon ducked because he's fighting against a couple of villains right now. He's saying, "I'll call you later, Izuku. Tell your mom I said hi and love her, and love you too, son." As before then hanging up, with Izuku feeling kinda annoyed a little bit, but also enjoys the challenge to prove that he can get into UA and take the #1 spot in the entrance exam, and is getting somewhat pumped and hyped. And that's it. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please tell me what you guys think in the comments below. I'd love to hear them. Also, like and subscribe, which really helps in the channel a lot. Also, check out my gaming channel and my Discord, which would be in the description below if you guys want to check them out. At any rate, with all that said, this is Mooky, signing out. Later, guys.